Good morning and happy Sabbath.
Good morning, happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
All right. This week, the lesson title is all right. The lesson title today is Sabbath, a day of freedom. Sabbath is a day of
Freedom.
freedom. All right. What is Sabbath? What is the meaning of Sabbath? Rest. Okay. Sabbath, the meaning is rest. Okay. It's really, let's think about it. It's really Sabbath, a day of freedom. When I was small, the whole village kids will go play cricket on Saturdays, the afternoon, evening around 3 o'clock. So I'm locked in the house and I'm dying to go out to play cricket. I have to wait for sun to set to go play cricket. Is it really Sabbath, a day of freedom? How many of you think is Sabbath day of freedom in our lives? Or is a burden? Alright, that's what we're going to study today. Is it going to be a burden or is it going to be freedom? Is it a freedom or a burden? Alright. Or we wait for Sabbath, sun to set down so we can go to work. Or we can go watch some movies. Or we can have some activities. We are waiting for Sabbath to be over. Is it the day of freedom? Alright. We're going to talk about why we feel that way. Sabbath is a kind of burden for us. I'm talking from my experience. I can't do certain things on Sabbath, but I wanted to do. So I'll wait for the sun to set, then go and do work. Why? We should be so excited to receive Sabbath. Right? We should be eagerly waiting for Sabbath to come. Okay, alright. And that's what the Spirit of Prophecy says. We should create such an environment in our homes. The kids, your family will wait for Sabbath to come. But is that Sabbath burden or freedom? We're going to see why. This entire lesson, we're going to see why we feel that way, the way we feel. Alright. And how many of you need rest? We all need rest, right? We all need rest. If you don't sleep for 1 or 2 days, what happens? You can't function properly, right? That's what I think. If you don't sleep for 2 or 3 days and if you get pulled over, it's like taking alcohol. You may go to jail. So this rest is very important. Okay, let's go to memory text. The memory text is found in Mark chapter 2 verse 27. Can anybody read? Mark chapter 2 verse 27. Okay.
Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath.
Okay, Sabbath was made for man, but not man for Sabbath. This is one of the controversial texts. One of the commonly misunderstood Bible verses by different denominations. How do you explain this? Is Sabbath important? What did this text talks about really? Yes, Pastor.
If the text says that man for the Sabbath, then it is something different. If it is Sabbath for man, it is equally at the time of this giving and what is a condition that you are created along with the 7 days. So Sabbath is one after you were created. So it is a cooperation with the 7 days feature.
Okay. And here this text it says, man is important than Sabbath. Is that correct?
No. Yes, man is important because Sabbath is not, man is not for Sabbath, but Sabbath, I'm sorry. If Sabbath is for man, then man is important. If man is for Sabbath, then Sabbath is important. So there's a controversial things is coming. If Sabbath is for man or man is for Sabbath, there is something that we may have to understand. There is some controversy going even from the time of creation. So the controversial is not there actually. It's Sabbath is not for man, but man for Sabbath, then it is a problem.
Okay, can anybody have any other thoughts? The Bible text of this?
Usually,
Yes.
okay, since there was man, there was Sabbath been given. The question is why Sabbath was given to man? Sabbath was given to man for only one reason, because God understood that he needed something beyond rest to spend time and commune with him. So that's one of the reasons the Bible says Sabbath was made for man. So which means he thought it necessitated, that was essential for him. When God gave water, it's all essential. When God gave food, it was essential. When God gave Sabbath, it was essential. He thought it was essential. For you and me today, it's not essential. Doesn't matter. Rest, no. For us, money is important. For us, work is important. Because we don't complete the job, God understands. So He wants us. That's the way how we think about it. But when God formally thought about it into the time of creation, that it was essential for Him. That's one of the reasons He gave it to Him.
Yeah. Amen. Any other thoughts? All right. See here, the Sabbath was given to man. Let me give you a small illustration. We have a small bicycle at home. I talked to my wife. We have a bicycle sitting in the house for years. I don't know what to do. Let's have one small baby. So the baby can use the bicycle. Or we have a baby, she's ready to run, she's ready to bike. Let's buy a bike for her. Which one makes sense? The second one. That's why God made, it's not Sabbath was there before creation, then God made man for Sabbath. No. You have a baby, you need what? A bicycle. So God created a human being. Now, God gave them Sabbath to enjoy. So, doesn't mean the Sabbath is not important. All right. And so what's the Sabbath before creation? That could be a little controversial question, right?
No.
We don't see it anywhere in the Sabbath.
No.
There was, no Sabbath.
I have a question for that too. Because if it is a continuity on creation, the Sabbath is the continuity of creation. people can say there was no Sabbath before. Then what happened in heaven? In heaven, God was resting on Sabbath day there too. Because that is the type it was given. To Moses, it was given a type what was happening in heaven to the earth. So Sabbath was there in heaven before creation. The heaven.
Can any supporting text or any from
Yeah, that is, I think it is in the Hebrew, chapter 8, 6, I suppose it says, it was given an, what is that, an advice to Moses, what is happening in heaven may have to be the type that you may have to have it in earth. So the earthly sanctuary is the same type of heavenly sanctuary. So that means heavenly sanctuary was there, though it was created first, heaven and earth. But God was in heaven, or God was not a created being, so God was there. It was kept there. Sabbath was kept there. But for man, it was a continuity. He has to accept it. He has to go through it. That is what it says, Sabbath was made for man. If it is for heaven, it would have even said, Sabbath was even for heaven too. No, Sabbath was made for man.
So, which means there was no Sabbath before man. The Sabbath was made for man.
For man, there was no Sabbath before.
There was no Sabbath before creation.
For man, no. But after creation, it was given for man because it was continuity. But in heaven, there is.
We will have a Sabbath on heaven when we go to New Earth in heaven. That's no doubt. It talks about Isaiah, the last chapter. It's clear. The Bible talks about we are going to have a Sabbath in New Earth in heaven as well. But was there a Sabbath on before creation?
Actually, if you have to look into the Sabbath, it's not a controversy, but it's simply saying it is the memorial of creation. That's what it means to say. So that's the only text which gives us an amplification stating that Sabbath was created for man and it was the memorial of creation.
Correct.
Okay, on the 7-day cycle. And it is not only we. I remember in 1992 or 93, I read in the secular newspaper, it simply says that the 7 days weekly cycle is known only by biblical authenticity. No other way that you will be able to know. 7 days a week.
All right, yeah. Let's move on. And God blessed the Sabbath day, and He rested on the day, and He sanctified the Sabbath day. Right? All right. Now, Sabbath is a sign, right? Ezekiel chapter, what is the verse, Pastor?
28.
Okay, Ezekiel chapter 28, it says, Sabbath is a sign between you and me that I created you. Like for example, Sabbath is a mark. Sabbath is a sign. If you look at any car, what do you see in the car, back side of the car, or in the front? It's a brand, it's a mark. What mark do you see? The company mark, Toyota, Honda, any brand, you take anything that was made, you will see a mark. You will see a sign. Like for example, if you look at this light bulb, you will see probably clips. If you look at the bulb, it will be written clips or some other thing. It's a mark. It's a sign. So same thing, God gave Sabbath as a sign that I created you. I made you. Made in China. Right? You read, see, everywhere made in China. Made in Japan. So made in heaven. Made by God. That is a sign. Sabbath. Sabbath is a sign that God had created us. God had made us. Alright. And so what is happening now? We want the car, but we don't want the logo. We don't want the So what we do, we go and remove, tear up the mark. No more Toyota. But you're driving, it's a counterfeit. You know, since we doing business, importing, exporting and all, we see a lot of counterfeit goods. Lot of counterfeit goods. What is the what is happening in the Sabbath counterfeit? What is the counterfeit Sabbath? Sunday worship. Right? They remove the mark, but we'll do everything. We'll drive the car, but we don't want the identity, just like in Isaiah chapter 4. We want only the name of Jesus, name of God, and we will do our own things. That's a counterfeit Sabbath. Okay, but it's very important. It's a logo, it's a mark, it's identity, Sabbath, that God has created us. We are in His image. All right. And today, Sabbath, not so much about when it comes to Sabbath, why it becoming burden? Why Sabbath is becoming burden? Why did I feel when I was small the way I felt? How many of you feel even today the same way you feel? I know some adult people. We need to look for time to go to work. Sabbath is a burden. Why? This lesson not talking much about it's not talking much about how to keep the Sabbath, because we focus on what not to do on Sabbath in our families. Don't do this. Even you stay at home, you locked up, you do anything you want to do in the house, but don't go out and play. This is what Sabbath became burden for our children, our families, our lives. All right. So Sabbath, we are not talking so much about how to keep the Sabbath, and what we shouldn't do on Sabbath, but rather the dignity of Sabbath. All right. In this lesson, we're going to focus the dignity of Sabbath lost by years. Gradually, it was counterfeit after some years. So we're going to look at it, how it was lost, and how can we restore back what we lost. How many of you would be happy if all 7 days are Sabbath? How many of you would be happy? All 7 days are Sabbath. We will be jumping up and down. But no. Because we were caught up in the world so much. Satan has designed so much stuff that will pull us away from the Sabbath, Holy Sabbath. All right. And now we observe the Sabbath just like any other day. That's what has happened in the children, among the children of Israel. All right, the Sabbath is a day of freedom. If you wanted to have a freedom, you have to be in bondage, or you have to be slavery, right? We used to catch bird and put in a cage, and after some time, the bird escapes. Freedom. Somebody escaped from the prison, freedom. Somebody released from the prison, freedom. So you have to be in bondage. So we're going to talk about why slavery. The slave, we are slave in what? We are bondage in what? Okay, let's move. Let's go to next lesson. Was the Sabbath before Mount Sinai? Was the Sabbath given to children of Israel before Mount Sinai? Before 10 commandments were given, in what place do you see the Sabbath was given to the children of Israel? Any reference from the Bible? Before the actual 10 commandments are given to them? Let's think about it.
They
Huh?
will keep.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about to the children of Israel. Because, the Sabbath commandment was given, 10 commandments was given to the children of Israel in Mount Sinai. Then that's after like 2 years from Egypt to the Mount Sinai. So is there any reference in the Bible? It was given before the 10 commandments were given. Eh?
You're talking about for Israel.
Sabbath, yeah, children of Israel.
Abraham was keeping.
One children of Israel, I'm talking about only the children of Israel. Yeah. Okay, was that manna before Mount Sinai? Manna talked about in what chapter?
Okay, that's
Chapter? Exodus chapter 16. And the 10 commandments are given in chapter 20. Before, just look at before that 16th chapter. What is happening? What did Pharaoh tell to Moses? What did Pharaoh tell to Moses? You make people to rest. You're making people lazy. Now they want to have a rest. Before they came out of Egypt, they observed Sabbath. So let's look at today the manna 16th chapter. Let's focus on chapter 16 and okay. If you read in Exodus chapter 16, you might get confused with manna and quail, right? Manna and meat. But if you read book Numbers 11th chapter, then you will understand the sequence, the steps. First, God provided a manna, but you don't see that in Exodus chapter 16. Some people say, Sabbath was given only to the children of Israel in the Mount Sinai, the wilderness. No, it was there before. Even before 10 commandments given, God gave them, God reminded them about the Sabbath. They rested, they kept the Sabbath before they came out of Egypt. So we all going to keep the Sabbath. It's going to be two groups. People who keep the Sabbath and not keep the Sabbath. Before the end of the world, before comes out of the Egypt. Alright, the same thing is going to happen in the last days as well. Let's read Exodus chapter 16 verse 4 and 5. You'll understand what is happening here. Why did God give them manna? Now when the children of Israel came out of, they crossed the Red Sea. I have one sermon about the journey of Ark of Covenant. And so I started from Egypt, the travel, all the places where they stopped. So how many years it took almost? So right after they crossed the Red Sea, God started giving them manna to eat. So manna. Manna, God gave them manna. So let's read Exodus chapter 16 verse 4 and 5.
Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day,
Okay.
that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or not.
So I want to test them. They will walk in my law or not. God is testing already, giving them manna. Alright, so what was God's instruction giving manna? What was God's instruction? Go and gather every morning only for the day what you need, right? And some gathered much, some gathered less, but when they come and measure it, what happened?
The extra collected became deacon and the less collected became equalized.
It became same. Some greedy people took a sack and they collected so much, they were so excited. And then when they came home, they measured it with what measurement it talks about? Omer. I don't know Omer. Omer means, I checked, it's 3 pounds. Every person collected, supposed to have 3 pounds manna for the whole day. So some people collected maybe tons, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. Some people maybe collected only a little bit. But when they came and measured it, exactly 3 pounds for everybody. I don't know, that's the right understanding, but that's the way I understand. All right. So now what is happening? God said, you should not keep for next day. But what did people do? Some. Always you will see anywhere, there will be some. You know, they don't want to follow the rules and the regulations and instruction. So some wanted to test God and keep it for tomorrow. They did not. Why did they keep it for next day? Why do you want to save money in the bank? You don't trust God enough. Why did they save it for next day? They did not trust God that God will provide for tomorrow. They wanted to save it for tomorrow. So what happened? Spoiled. It smells so bad next day. God was mad. That's what it says. God, he was angry. Then, let's come to the lesson. Yeah, this is also continuation of the lesson. The lesson then, on the 6th day, you have to collect how many times? 2 times. And you make for the next day, and what happens? On the Sabbath day, they kept it for next day, but what happened? It did not spoil or it did not smell bad. Here is, then another thing God told them. He said, you prepare for the next day and keep it. And God said, don't go and try to gather manna on Saturday, Sabbath, 7th day. But what did people do? The same group who kept it for next day, they went out and looking for manna. They did not find anything. So manna tasted like what? What does the Bible say? Manna tasted like
Honey.
wafer. You put honey in the wafer. It tasted like that. It's like, it looked like coriander seed. Coriander. It looked like a coriander. It tasted like a wafer with honey. All right. So now, what is happening? Now God said, don't collect it. God said, collect it for Sabbath and don't go and collect on 7th day. But people did not listen to God. God is really angry. What is happening now when you disobey God's commandment? Let's read Exodus chapter 16, verse 28, 27, 28, 29, 30. 27, let's read 27.
And it came to pass
Okay.
that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse you to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day.
Amen. How long, what did God ask? How long will you break my commandments? How many years we have been listening to the Sabbath message? All our lives. But how many of us are faithful keeping the Sabbath? How long will you transfer the commandments? Is God particular? Some of us think, you know what is happening? Some of us think, oh, it's okay to go and do work on Sabbath afternoon. Even the health side, the health professionals, when the system is being abused, only some exception God gave them on to work on Sabbath. But even that one is being abused. How long? Is God particular? If God says seventh day, it's what? Seventh day. If God don't know what to build the ark, 60 cubit. How many cubit did he build? He did not build 59. If God said, he's very particular. Now he had to deepen the Jordan River for 7 times. God said 7 times. 7 times. 6th time, no cube. God is very particular. Our God is very particular. If God say, this is it, don't do it. Yes, sir.
Some people will say that you can keep Sabbath any day because every day is alike. What is our answer? I have a certain answer, but I was wondering if you
So
can
every
listen.
day is like a Sabbath.
Every day is alike, therefore you can keep any day.
Any day, yeah, because there's no, you don't see sun is like little brighter on Saturdays. If sun is a little brighter on Saturday, you can say it is a Saturday because there's a sign it's a Saturday, right? Every day is the same.
And in fact, they say that, Paul said, some people keep one day, one way, other days
Other
alike,
ways,
but you decide yourself. So they come with this conclusion that anyway, the law has been nailed to the cross. They usually mix that up with.
Yeah. So Paul was
what-
mentioning about the communion stuff he was saying about.
Right. So what could be the answer, or if anyone thought about this as to how to answer?
Yeah,
When
how-
people
how-
say
how-
every
how-
day is alike, you can keep any one day, or you can keep every day. It's up to you.
Yeah. Anybody have any thought?
Yeah, Brother Kishore will say, I will keep it on Friday. And Sister Pansy will say, I will keep it on Sunday.
Wednesday.
And Brother Ambrose will say, no, in Southern Asia Division, Wednesday is the best day. So everybody has their own way. But what is God's way, if that's the case?
For God is particular. He said seventh day is the Sabbath. You can say all days God day. But Sabbath, he is very particular. The seventh day is the Sabbath.
So 7th day is the Sabbath day, yeah. Even though you don't see any changes from day 1 to day 7, it's the same day, same time, same, everything is same. But if God says 7th day, it's the 7th day.
Yes, this Bible says body is the temple of God.
Okay.
Actually, we always keep our body as a temple, otherwise we will lose our. Why can't we keep? All 7 days, not to be like a holy as we keep the body as a temple of God, but still there is a meaning in it. As a part of the time in a day, maybe holy to God. So that is left the choice of the people how we keep the days holy. Not only Sabbath is not holy for 24 hours, but all the other days also part is there for making it holy.
Yeah, the question is, why is Saturday? It can be Monday or Tuesday.
Brother Boaz,
That is-
it is simple.
that is
It is very simple.
Okay.
And today is your anniversary. Today is your anniversary. That doesn't mean that you are not married for other days. The simple phenomena is this, that's a special day, is a memorial of your day that you got married. The memorial, the day you have been born, is called as birthday. You see? You make something special on that day. That doesn't mean that you don't make on other days. Did you get my point? But that makes it absolutely special because your daughter was born on that day.
So that day is a birthday, right? 7th day, the only day.
It is simple.
So you can't put it on some
And
other
it makes
day and
it,
say,
it makes it more special because God said it and He wants us to do it.
Amen. So you have a...
Yeah, my answer is this. I will ask this question. Is Monday, if every day is alike, can Monday be called Sunday? Can the second day be called the first day?
No.
Is every day first day? Can every day be second day or third day? Can Wednesday be Sunday? No, it's all based on this concept that I can do anything I want and still my worship can be acceptable to God. Therefore, I will ask them, if every day is Sunday, then, why don't you just go to church every day then? Just like you're saying, you don't want to keep Sabbath day, it can be any day. So, can you go to work on any day you like? If your employer says, come on the first day, like from, Monday to Friday, can you go on Wednesday and say, well, today is just like Monday, so I'm just coming. It doesn't work like because God has set a certain order. And it's not really about which day we worship, but rather who we wish to worship, who decides how we are to worship. So every day is not alike. First day is not second day is not third day. The first year is not second year. Everything is different. We are bound by time, space, and time. There is an order to everything. The first month is not the second month. Why do we celebrate Easter on, let's say, whoever celebrates Easter, in April? Why can't we do it in January? Because according to God, if you read the creation story, He set the times and days which no one can change, especially the weekly day. So therefore, it's about who rather than what.
All right. And now, so if God is very particular, and if God said, that's it. And we have to believe. All right. Now, some people did not follow God's instruction, and they went to collect manna. So the people who were lazy, they went to collect manna even after the sun rises. What happened? It's gone. So the manna represents what? Manna represents the word of God. Right? You have to seek manna even before sunrise. That's what the Bible says. Early morning, call upon me. So even if you do it after, it's a Bible to God. Even Jesus, look at His life. Early morning, before disciples wake up, He would go privately and He would talk to God. Collect manna before sunrise. It's a wonderful lesson we can learn. All right.
Also, I think I have read one small statement from somewhere. It says that God instructed the people to collect Israel to collect manna. And the time also set. The amount also it is set. But those who are not on that part, the statement it says, they lost the communication with God. Because it is a direct communication with God and man. If they are going beyond God's word, they lost the communication. That is whatever collected extra became decayed, and whatever not collected fully, it is equalized. Those things, it is a dedication to the Lord and the communication together with man and God. That's one statement I read from there.
Okay, that's what sometimes we break the law to do good things. Right, like for example, we go work on Saturdays and give the money to who are needy. Maybe we send the money to India. Same thing happened to Saul. God told him to destroy all the living beings, all the animals, all the human beings. But what did Saul do? What did Saul do? he saw the animals, they were so healthy, some of them, and he took. The purpose was good. He wanted to take to his place and offer those animals for sacrifice, to offer to God. He did, but God did not accept his sacrifice. Then God said, obedience is. Sometimes we do the same thing. God doesn't need your money. Some of us think God needs your money. He's rich enough. He owns the whole world. He owns all the entire gold and everything. He can have it anytime he wants. Sometimes we think we have to give money to God. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Always God expects from us His faith. All right. Now what is happening? The children of Israel started eating manna for some times. Then they were so tired. Why? The lesson says Sabbath is a day of freedom. Because they were not in freedom, children of Israel. They came out of Egypt, but what? Their mind is in Egypt. They were crying for what? Meat. We used to have garlic. We used to have garlic butter. We used to have garlic naan. We used to have everything in Egypt. We have all kinds of spices in Egypt, but we don't have anything here in the wilderness except this manna. I think manna is the angel's food, right? In Psalms, I think somewhere it says manna is angel's food. The manna came from heaven. Probably the prophet Elijah, I think, God gave him bread 3 times. Bread and water, I guess. He walked for 40 days. It given from heavenly food. Manna is heavenly food. It came from heaven. But the people wanted to go back to Egypt. So the appetites, like for example, some Indians travel to US and they go to certain places. And they stay there for like 1 week, 2 weeks. And after that, they would be dying. Like, for example, my father-in-law, he'd been into California for some times. And after 1 week, they were dying to eat what? Indian food. Right? Is it happening to everybody? Yes. You ask anybody who's coming from India, even 2-3 days, they can't stay away from our food. Even now, even people who are here, you started eating burger and pizza and sandwich every day. You can't. You cannot eat for like more than a certain time. You would be dying. The same thing happened. The appetites, they are used to different appetite. They used to, the taste of the food. That's what God gave the meat. You know how long the meat, the quill was poured? 1 day travel each direction. That much God gave them. And they collected, I was reading how much they collected. It was like a ton. Some people collected even a ton. The measurement is there in the Bible. You go ahead and read, and it says, some explanation says ton. Each people collected 1,000 pounds. They were so greedy for meat. They were dying for meat. God gave them that much for how many days? 1 month. And before they could, the meat gets stuck between their teeth, and before they could take it out, God's wrath was poured out. So appetites. How many people lost because of their appetite? The first creation, who? Eve. She looked at the fruit. This for the stomach, appetites. Esau, he sold his birthright. He lost the godly generation because of food. So many incidents you can see. So we need to be very careful in our appetite as well as the children of God's children living the last days. Especially we have counsels on the spirit of prophecy, our appetite, and the fruit to have in the issue. All right. Let's move on. That's the reason the Sabbath was not a day of freedom for children of Israel, because they were still living in Egypt. They were still living in slavery. So sometimes Sabbath became a burden for you and me. It's because we are living still in slavery. We are still living in Egypt. Have not come out of the Egypt. Even though we feel like we have come out, but all our thoughts, our focus, our mind, everything is in Egypt. That's why the Sabbath has become a burden for us, not a freedom. All right, let's go a little far. Next lesson, next one is we're going to talk about the two reasons for Sabbath. What are the two reasons for Sabbath? We'll finish it. Still like 5 minutes. What are the two reasons for Sabbath? Let's read Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 to 11.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Okay, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, because the children of Israel, they forgot the Sabbath. So God is reminding them again and again, even giving them manna, giving them instruction every day, day by day, to remember the Sabbath day to holy, because you are mine. I created you. You are my product. Go ahead.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Okay.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath day of the Lord thy God. And thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor the maidservant, nor the cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. And 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and followed it.
Amen. So how do you divide the 10 commandments? First 4 to God, and the last 6 is to your fellow beings, right? So I like to divide first 4 is to God, the last 7 is to if you do a true circle, first 4 and the last 6, you connect the circle, and you can put both the circle connects, and there's a small space. That's the Sabbath commandments. Sabbath, it's a connecting, it's a bridge. You will see Sabbath, what you have to supposed to God, and what you're supposed to do, your fellow being. So first 4 commandments and last 7 commandments. Sabbath is the connecting commandments. It's a bridge. When we all sinned and lost the heaven, lost the Garden of Eden, God recreated us. He gave Himself to connect. The Sabbath reminds us creation and restoration, recreation. That's how God gave, Jesus came to this earth, and He died for our sin to restore the Sabbath what we have lost. Restore a human being, restore our godly nature. All right. Any other thoughts on
regarding the fourth commandment?
Yes,
the
sir.
2 words used, one remember, the other one is observe. So that comes under the remember is to be always connected to God. That is the first of 4 commandment it says. And the observe is a man-to-man relationship with God. So that is the 2 interconnected word used.
Yeah, and then only the 4th commandment is seeing what you're supposed to do to man, what you're supposed to do to God. That's what the connection is a bridge. All right, it's a day for healing. Sabbath is a day for doing a good work. Right? Jesus, how many miracles Jesus performed on Sabbath? I put it on Google, it says 7 miracles. And if you read Matthew chapter 12, Jesus performed a miracle. Then right after he said, he healed them all. Means he performed thousands of miracles. That is not mentioned in the Bible. It says he healed them all. How many? We don't know. Maybe thousands on the Sabbath. All right. So here Jesus healed the withered man, and he chased out the unclean spirit on Mark. You can see read it in Mark chapter 1. Then John chapter 9, he healed the blind man. And so the Pharisees came to Jesus and said, is it lawful to do heal on Sabbath? God said, it's lawful to do good on Sabbath. What is happening? What happened during Jesus' time was man-made laws, man-made rules, instruction was put into Sabbath. You know, I thought the counterfeit, so far before I read the lesson, I thought the counterfeit will be little changes, but it's not. You can see what is the counterfeit here in the Sabbath commandments. Adding stuff is a counterfeit. I didn't know that. They added with some extras with the Sabbath. It's a counterfeit. That's why Jesus told them. I mean, Jesus came to clean it, and he changed. He said, "Yeah, it is law. It's okay to do good things on Sabbath." And he gave Jesus gave one small illustration that, you know, if you're only one sheep and it fell on the pit, will you not stay in the pit? So I'm here to say anything related with salvation. It's okay to do good on Sabbath. And Sabbath is the rest for the land. And you know, 1,000 years, we are living almost 6,000 years. Even in the life of children of Israel, every 7 years, 7th year, they should inform. They have to leave the farmland by itself, alone. And after seventh time, it's called Jubilee, 50th year, continuous of 2 years. We shouldn't do any farming work. As well as every 7th year, if you owe debt to somebody, it's gone. You don't have to pay them. And if you're a slave for 7 years, and the 7th year, you have to be freed. That was the law was given to children of Israel. The same thing has happened. We have lived for almost 6,000 years. And 7th year, 7,000 years we're going to have in heaven. We're going to rest in heaven. The Jubilee is coming. That's what even Jesus died on the Passover of Passover, which means every 7th year, the 50th year is the Jubilee. That is the year even Jesus died. The cross, Passover. All right. So, anything else to add on this lesson? If not, we will come to all right. While offering is being collected, and I wanted to talk a little about the restoration. The prophet Hosea, God, first he went and married a woman. Then he left him, and she left him, and she misbehaved, and she did all kind of bad things, and he went with all of the men. And again, God asked him to go and get her, pay and get her back. The same thing, dear friends. God had created us, and He gave a logo, He gave a mark. It is Sabbath that I created you. But we have lost.
of God because of sin. But God paid the price again to restore us back. So he paid, he came to this world, died for, he gave his only son, he died for our sin to restore us back, to take us back. So it's almost 600 years is done. So God is coming soon. Anytime we might be going to heaven to observe 1,000 years. Rest in peace. May God bless you all.